Alright, we're jumping a little bit of ahead here. We're starting on the crawl space. I dug out the perimeter and kind of got my elevations and heights on Saturday. And partially we just had rain coming in. The biggest reason is I forgot my camera bag that's got all my batteries and stuff. So I only had one camera here and the battery was like at 60%. So I wasted most of it filming. I shaped up the edge of the road and stuff and kind of I used the dozer to kind of cut the sides and track all that in. But I didn't start on this until later in the day. And then there was another round of storms and stuff that came through. So part of it was that other end over there has got some water. I didn't get it drained out quite like I should have. But so yeah, we got the perimeter dug out. And now I'm just going to kind of start hogging everything in the middle out. I actually found another pocket of rocks over here. This is the second area on this entire site that I have found rocks. So that's why I got the haul truck in here. I'm going to load it up, and there's one low spot along the driveway. I'm going to dump these in. I can kind of track them down. Because I'm going to use some of this stuff to flare out the sides of the driveway or make it a little more gradual than what it is. So I didn't really have anywhere else to put rocks and such. As you can kind of see, the whole end of that pile, it's about right there, is just 80% rocks with a little bit of reddish clay, which is crazy because the rest of this clay's been like tan and gray here. So I just dug the perimeter and threw everything out around the house. I'm going to probably take the dozer. I'm going to try to build it up out there like a foot or so right now and try to use it to kind of rough grade around the site. That way when they get the walls up, we've already got it kind of sloped where it'll shed away. You can see the tracks. I'm going to actually just cut a daylight ramp out that way, and it's going to stop somewhere down there towards the pond. But last thing I can get the dozer in here and just kind of doze that out and get everything to drain off. And then that way the concrete guys can back their trailer in here for their forms. They can get stone and everything like that. Just kind of getting a little access to get in here. I'm going to work on hogging this out. This is the garage area up here. I'll actually step it up 2 feet. And then we'll take the topsoil and all that junk out. But I just figured I'll get the crawl space done so I can dig all that out from that other end. So yeah, we'll get the crawl space kind of dug out. Hopefully I can get all this dug out. Kind of slicked up today, so I tried to make myself room to get the haul truck beside me. I got a couple people that lose their mind when I put it behind me and I have to swing all the way around. But most of the time I only do that like when I have it inside here or when I had it on that basement job. I didn't have room to get the truck beside of me is the reason I do that. It's not like I just don't know that it takes longer to spin around and load it. It's just a logistics thing. So I'll be sure to park it next to me now just to make them feel good. I'm not wasting time and fuel. I thought I'd start from this corner. It's the furthest point away from where I'm going to put the ramp, and like I said, it's all this rock and junk. I could dump it out of here and track it down around the house. But like I said, I can put it along the edge of the driveway where it's not going to be like actual like finished yard. Like they're just going to brush hog this or something. So, and it's got to be pretty thick right along that driveway, so we can spread this stuff out, track it down with the dozer, then we'll put some of the topsoil stuff back on top of it. Is kind of my plan, so I figured it's about as easy just sitting in here with the truck and loading and hauling out of here. Then I can maybe set one way and throw it out there a little bit, then I'm still going to have to move it. Part of this I thought I could even maybe take the loader and just kind of dig it out, but it's going to be about as fast with the, I get past this corner, I'll put the 5-foot grading bucket on the excavator and then just load it in the truck, and then I'll go place the stuff right where I want it. So, but yeah, that's what we're gonna work on today, is just trying to get everything hogged out in this crawl space and my ramp cut out. Yeah, here's where I kind of somewhat dug my ditch the other night that kind of drained, kind of didn't. And it actually worked out, just kind of eyeballing those flags. I got the driveway, it's going to be, the top of the clay right now is 19.5 inches lower than what the top of the crawl space is going to be. So when I put another 8 inches of rock or so on there, I'll still be a foot below the grade of the house, which will be good, and then everything will kind of slope off. This little spot right here, if I don't get stuck, pretty soft and low, so I need to build it up a little bit. So I figured these rocks would work really well right here. Spot there, that'd be a good spot for them. I'll just kind of fill them all in and blend down that side. So. Bad part about digging the perimeter out. I've only got one spot I can drive in there. If I would have had more time Saturday, I would have just going to start digging one side out and then hogging everything out. But then I was worried that with it raining, it was going to take all my paint marks away. So that's why, basically why I do the perimeter deal. So at least it kind of keeps my corners and such. But yeah, now we'll just repeat the process for a little bit. So this is what we'll do for a little. got the crawl space all dug out. The builder was up here today kind of checking stuff out, and they were going over some things with the homeowner and stuff, and then he stayed for a little while and was kind of checking grade, so I didn't film. When they were here walking around, I wasn't going to film any of that or anything, so I got the crawl space dug out. I started kind of notching my walkout part out, but then I just did that part of it. I'm going to use the dozer and just kind of consolidate it with that far pile down there and kind of clean that out. So I was going to work on digging out the garage now. We're going to jump up 2 feet from what the crawl space is to do the garage, which is going to work out because I kind of just dig. I'm about 6 inches down in that layer of clay, so I'm going to kind of take the better stuff and continue to dump it along the edge of the road. And then I'm also going to cut out the softer material in the whole floor of the garage here. That's like these piles and stuff. So I can actually cut some of this on my way. I'll cut my laser. I was kind of cutting this ditch just to keep my line behind me that I'm out of paint, and then the rain kind of knocked my lines off or washed them off. You guys probably can't see all that since we're kind of looking into the sun, but I just thought I'd kind of show you where we're at for now. Like I said, I got most of the crawl space dug out yesterday. There was just kind of a spot right there that was still pretty high. And then I went around and kind of touched everything up. I think I'm going to get the roller down in there, especially this corner. Especially this corner, it's solid, but there's a lot of rock in there and it's a little loose on the top, if that makes sense. I may just kind of roll that junk back in. I could roll over the whole thing. I don't know if I really have to. It's a clay, once again, it's kind of like over in Kansas. I mean, it's dried out, kind of cracking, sets up like concrete, but if we do get any rain, it'll kind of get slick and slimy again. But I guess the, I don't know, good news for that is there's no rain in the forecast, like in the next 2 weeks, and today's 93. I want to say by next Monday or Tuesday, it's like 98 every day, so. But it is almost July, so it's about that time of the year where it's just going to be 100 degrees again every day. So, but the garage is pretty good size. There's, yeah, that's the end of it right there, and then because I'm on the other flag, but I think it's like 40 feet long or something. Then it's like 25 across. So. It's a three-car garage, so. finished getting the garage cut out. So the garage and the crawl space is pretty much done and cut out. So I added a little bit of the real rocky stuff just in the center there, because the footing's going to actually be about in the middle of this ditch all the way around, but that helps on a little bit of the backfill. And I think every rock in this property is all in this corner. So I got into some in the crawl space and a whole lot more over here. You can see there's some pretty good sized rocks. So, and it's more of the reddish orange clay, so which it's up on top of the hill, but that's still pretty crazy when you walk just a few feet over here and you're just more clay. So, and then you get down here, lots of clay and no rocks. So yeah, definitely weird. You can kind of see the vein or the line right through there. So, but now we're gonna spend a few hours in the dozer. I'm gonna kind of just start knocking this dirt down. I gotta cut a like a walkway or like a drain area out there. I'll just kind of grade it out, probably almost to the pond. So if it does get rain, it'll run on out, and then everyone can run their vehicles, or so I got to get the skid steers in here or anything like that for the concrete guys. But and I got my laser set up. I'm gonna rough grade this yard probably 2 feet below the top of the concrete wall of the crawl space. So that'll still be well below finish grade. But I know we got to be like 6-8 inches down from the vents or the tops of the footings, code wise anyway. But I want to make sure I'm not too high on the rough grade part of it, and we can always add to it and dress it up later. So instead of moving or leaving these piles, I'm just going to kind of knock them down and track them in with the dozer right there where they're at, and that way it'll kind of start shedding the water around here. I'm probably gonna have to just push those rocks off to the side and either dig a hole or find somewhere else to take them to. But yeah, we'll just do a little dozer work for a while. slight change of plans. I'm not going to be able to get any rock today. They're trying to finish some big pad, so I'm going to try to use the loader to kind of cut these sides and shape this end of the ditch a little bit, just because kind of, I don't know, a little bit limited on space. I may be able to get the dozer in here, but you just be kind of moving forward a little bit and then backing up, and if I need to, I can get the excavator and kind of cut and shape that. But I think I can get down on this bottom and kind of cut these sides and then kind of dress this up a little bit. I've been doing a little bit of grading since it started last night with the dozer and touched it up with the loader on knocking all those piles down and getting that done. Probably gonna get the 2150 and the high dream out here in a little while and just dump some more in here and kind of keep building that up. I'm trying to get the dirt touched up as best as I can along the road before we put the base rock in case I need to get up on top and knock stuff around. I went ahead and knocked out these 4 piles of dirt. I got to do a little touching up on that edge, but that's kind of going to be the pretty close to the finished product. I got to add a little more in there and just kind of taper everything out. So I figured today would be a good day, so I got the crawl space and such done, to just get everything dressed up that I want to along the road. Like I said, before the base rock's on. I know once the rock is on here, I'll still have to build this up, but at least I'll have kind of the general shape, and then I may use more of the better topsoil stuff. This is a lot of the junk I took out of the crawl space. For starters, we'll try to get this side shaped up and get some dirt over here and get that dressed up for now, and then here in a little while, like I said, we'll get the hydrema and the excavator fired up and start moving more dirt.